Following a successful raid, a gang of pirates may be seen lounging and resting in the opening scene. One of them notices an odd metal mask on the ground and decides to go relieve himself by walking further into the forest. As he continues his investigation, he finds a dark cave. Curiously, he goes inside to investigate, but all of a sudden, the ground trembles and he gets drawn down into a hole. The action then shifts to Warren Price, a millionaire's son, who is traveling to the Indonesian island of Una to investigate a former Japanese military bunker. He is accompanied by Japanese scientist Rai and his stunning girlfriend Suling. A group of mercenaries led by Sergeant Papa Snake, Joko, Ario, and Captain Tino Prawa escort the three of them. Stanley, a former military engineer who joined Tino's organization as a mercenary, is also joining the expedition. The gang is startled at one point in their trek by sounds coming from a cave. But as it happens, Sergeant Papa is actually pulling a practical joke on the team. When Warren notices this, he chastises the captain for the behavior of his soldiers. He is reassured by Tino, though, that it won't occur again. After that, Warren and the scientists explore the cave together, with the latter claiming that they are getting close to their objective. Outside, Stanley asks Tino what the precise goal of the mission is, wanting to know. The captain, nevertheless, acknowledges that he doesn't know and would like not find out. Following a quick tour of the cave, they all carry on walking farther into the forest till they come across a dead mine's entrance. Rai surmises that the Japanese took control of it following World War II, after it was previously run by the Dutch. Warren adds to the rumors, claiming that the mine was converted into a military bunker, exactly what they're searching for. Stanley warns them, though, that he needs to investigate the area first because there are indications of recent seismic activity. The others wait outside as the engineer starts his inspection after that. When Stanley questions Rai about how she came to work for Warren, she doesn't answer, just saying that she's doing her own investigation. The party is attacked by some pirates as they wait outside the bunker, and they immediately start shooting at them. Stanley isn't done checking, but the group is compelled to enter the bunker in a last-ditch effort to save themselves. When Ario eventually makes it inside, he discovers too late that a grenade has been tossed at him. Consequently, there is a massive explosion that renders them unconscious. When everyone comes to, they discover Ario has suffered serious injuries. Stanley points out to them that the group is stuck within the mine due to the fallen entrance. He said that they are unable to leave the area they entered. He says they can go down into the mine, but there is no assurance there won't be another way out. The party quickly starts arguing about whether or not their run-in with the pirates was just a coincidence. Subsequently, they approach Warren and insist on knowing their precise search parameters. The latter tries to ignore them, but eventually gives in when they threaten to hurt him. Warren reveals that they arrived at their current place after he and Rai deciphered a series of documents. He continues by disclosing that they are truly searching for $1 million prize belonging to a Japanese military leader. Warren is aware that the treasure exists, although Stanley denies its existence. Tino intervenes when the two start to argue, telling them that leaving this place must come first. Following this, the party descends farther into the mine. They are crossing a bridge when all of a sudden, the surrounding lights come on and a war propaganda song begins to play. It's unclear to everyone how this occurred because they all believe the mine has been abandoned for many years. Stanley, on the other hand, interprets this as a sign that there may be an alternative path. As they proceed, they stumble into a chamber filled with bottles, hazmat suits, and unsettling old pictures. Warren and Rai discover a map affixed to the wall while examining the space. A person in a gas mask can be seen standing behind the sergeant during this, but it vanishes when Papa looks around. Warren thinks that one of the Japanese commander's hideouts is the 25th Area Army, based on the markings on the map. Stanley questions Warren though, thinking there must be more to it. Then, according to Rai, they had found the mines that had once served as the headquarters of Unit 731, a covert medical research facility notorious for its deadly trials on humans. The team is furious with Warren for not alerting them to this possibility or preparing them for it, but he argues that he was as uninformed. After that, the captain makes the decision to divide up so that Ario, who is hurt, can recover while they look for a way out. Warren and his fiancée, however, are adamant about accompanying the captain because they are afraid they might find the riches. So, while Joko, Stanley, and Rai stay behind with Ario, Captain Tino, Sergeant Papa, Warren, and Suling set out to locate and escape. Tino's crew discovers another area with cages a little while later. Warren finds a helmet there that was given to him by the Australian government, proving that the people detained in the room were POWs. Ario, who is sleeping on a pallet bench, hears something scratching in the background. As he sits up to look around, he is startled to see the earth move. A hand suddenly grabs his leg and pulls him down into the pit. Before he can warn others, a mutant is glimpsed by the others as they hurry to aid him, but he swiftly flees. Stanley then presses Rai for information regarding the creature, but she is just as ignorant as he is. The three of them plunge into the hole to follow the thing into the tunnels, in spite of their trepidation. Not long after, Rai finds Ario's body laying motionless with his eyes missing their pupils and his throat cut. Stanley comforts her and tells her to keep going so they can stay safe. However, the moment they turn around, Stanley is violently struck down by the person wearing the gas mask. Joko discovers a room full of human remains, among them the horrifyingly disfigured body of the pirate from the movie's opening scene while looking for his teammates. Soon after, the mutants begin to pursue him. Even though he shoots one of them, more come out of the surrounding area. A mutant attacks him on the back of the head, catches him off guard, grabs his weapon, and runs away. Then, as Joko reaches for his revolver, a second mutant attacks and begins to claw at his eyes. Even when he defeats the beast in some way, his vision is damaged. He finds himself surrounded by more mutants, so he begins shooting randomly until his weapon jams. This is when Joko understands he's outnumbered and helpless, so he lets the animals kill him without using his firearm. Conversely, Tino's group is currently examining a chamber brimming with medical memoranda that describe the nature of the Japanese experiments carried out within the bunker. They hear one of their members screaming throughout this. They quickly attempt to exit the room after realizing how urgent the issue is, but the door unexpectedly closes, locking them within. The figure wearing the gas mask in the following scene captures Ryan Stanley. It turns out that the figure is a Japanese soldier. He speaks to Rai in Japanese while holding them at sword point, and Rai translates it to Stanley. She describes how the soldier views them as Japanese Imperial Army prisoners. She tries to talk sense into his head, but the soldier won't accept that the fight is done. After a few more minutes of their drawn-out talk, Stanley attacks and disarms the man because he is distracted. Then he takes off the gas mask from the soldier, exposing the face of an older guy who has been beaten. Following this, Rai plays for him an old clip from her tablet that depicts the Japanese surrender in its entirety in 1945. The soldier is devastated by this realization and falls to his knees in front of a body draped in the Japanese flag. A mutant creature unexpectedly attacks the other squad in another scene, stabbing Warren in the shoulder with a bone. Tino shoots at the thing in a swift retaliation, but it doesn't hurt it. All that does is cause the mutant to turn its attention on Tino and charge in his direction. Sergeant Papa kills the thing by stabbing it with a broken metal rod, just as it looks like he is about to be murdered. After looking closely at the creature's head, Warren deciphers the Japanese inscription and learns that the creature was an Australian prisoner of war. Stanley and Rai hear the soldier's account from the other room in the interim. He reveals that for years, he and his comrade who passed away were tasked with guarding the mine. However, they were confined within once the Japanese army retreated in 1945. He acknowledges that he killed his pal in order to give up and go. Furthermore, he discloses that the mutants are prisoners of war, held captive in the mine preceding them. These detainees were put through experiments by the Japanese army that turned them insane and turned them into the monsters they are today. Subsequently, they decided to conduct the experiment on their own people in an effort to increase their youth and strength. They gave the soldiers, including him, some sort of injection, but it was just another botched experiment. Tino's group discovers this horrifying scene as they investigate the region further. A disfigured corpse, perhaps from one of the mine's trials. Its brain is sticking out of its skull, and its stomach is sliced open. Warren finds a syringe containing an unknown liquid and gold particles soon after, and he believes that this is what the Japanese army was using for their research. He becomes angered by this and understands that it's likely the last of the commander's possessions. As Tino and Papa try to open the door, Warren converses with his partner. She queries the rationale behind combining the liquids and gold. According to Warren, it's thought to be the original alchemical formula in the elixir of life. When he worries that he won't get away with anything, Su Ling offers that they take the syringe instead of the treasure, claiming that it might be more valuable. When he hears this, he gives her the syringe and asks her to protect it. After a little while, Tino and Papa succeed in opening the door, revealing a shrine that is home to numerous animals decked out in samurai armor. Put otherwise, they represent the Imperial Guards. Suddenly, these guards come to life and move in the direction of the gathering. Fearful, the captain and sergeant start shooting, but their rounds hardly affect the guards. Recognizing the impending danger, Tino gives the order for Warren and Su Ling to flee, leaving Papa behind to buy them some time. Before the sergeant can close the chamber door, though, the overwhelming number of guards attack him, ultimately leading to his untimely fate. After running for their lives, Tino, Warren, and Su Ling eventually arrive at the cavern where Joko is killed. Unexpectedly, a mutant attacks Warren as Tino investigates the body. Tino fights the beast despite his wounds and uses a shattered bone as a weapon to stab it to death. Following this, they navigate the solar system until they eventually reach Stanley, Rai, and the man wearing a gas mask in a room. Stanley answers that he has a solution when Tino asks the man if he knows how to get out. He said the animals frequently venture out to hunt and get food for themselves. However, it is evident that Warren's injury is causing him to struggle to survive. Su Ling uses the same syringe from before to give her boyfriend a shot in a last-ditch effort to rescue him. At that moment, the gang is pursued by the Imperial Guardsmen, forcing them to run for their life. But the man with the gas mask decides not to flee. Rather than resisting, he kneels before the guards and lets them sever his neck. In another scene, an Imperial Guard liberates a mutant from a metal prison above its head, signifying their newfound cooperation. The two mutants ambush the party as they are making their way toward what looks to be an escape. Stanley and Tina then start fighting as Su Ling hurries to open a door next to her. Rai also uses a sharp-edged rock to stab one of the creatures to aid the guys in defeating it. By now Su Ling has succeeded in opening the door and is guiding her boyfriend inside. She shuts the door, leaving the others outside, though out of selfishness. Subsequently, Su Ling finds a tunnel leading to the exit. Warren, however, soon murders her because he has become insane from taking the unidentified medicine. The 3 surviving members of the gang are being pursued by the mutants and the Imperial Guards, and they are frantically looking for a way out. Not too long after, Rai finds a drain that leads to a sewer system. She quickly lifts the lid and calls our buddies, who are standing guard outside the door. However, the captain takes a bold choice as the attackers are about to smash through the chamber door. He tells Stanley and Rai to go, while he stays behind to deter the impending threat. Stanley and Rai then find themselves under the ocean, where the latter discovers another underwater passageway leading outdoors. She goes inside first, but an Imperial guard rushes in before Stanley can follow. After swimming through the tunnel, Rai surfaces in the middle of a lake. She then starts to swim in the direction of the coast when another Imperial guard appears in the sea. She tries to defend herself despite her tiredness, but the guard easily overwhelms her. The guardsman swings his sword at Rai's midsection as the film comes to a conclusion, perhaps killing her.